Today's topic, as I posted on the title, is overcoming challenges. Now, the key word in this topic is challenges. What do challenges represent? What is our perspective towards the challenge? How do we look at challenges? Challenges can either look at, can be either a failure, can be either an achievement, can be something negative, or something that we can look as a positive learning experience. That's how it is. And so we need to focus on, no matter what the challenge is, or no matter how we look at the challenge, we need to focus on how to overcome that challenge. The goal is for challenges for us to overcome, because they're gonna be hard. Challenge is not supposed to be easy. It's going to be an obstacle. It's going to be a trial. It's going to be something that really pushes us to our limits or pushes us off course. We stay on a course and then we fall off because of that challenge. And so we have to make sure that we learn to overcome that challenge so we can more than likely be successful. The only way we fail with a challenge is by not giving a full effort and not really looking how to face it, how to take it on head on. And so we have to really do our best to prepare when the challenge comes and when we're in the process of the challenge, so we can reflect on what it did for us or why we had the challenge to begin with. Challenges can come from all different levels. Whether you're a parent, whether you're an employee or a business owner, or whether you're coming in contact with other people, challenges are a part of life. It is a standard of life. And if you aren't comfortable or familiar with facing challenges, more than likely you're going to struggle, and more than likely you're going to fail. But we only fail if we give up on the challenge and do not continue to try and give our best. The only way we can be successful with the challenge is how we can handle it and how we can get through it. It's just like a really dark tunnel, okay? You can see that light at the end of the tunnel, but you're not going to get to that tunnel unless you actually get to the tunnel. You are not going to be successful with the challenge unless you take it on. Do not be afraid of the challenge. That's one of the ways we fail with challenges. So, I want to go over a few different points on how we approach the challenge. So the steps, the approaches I want to take is identify, plan, look for resources, take action, track your progress with a journal, and reflect. So, let's look at the first aspect of identify. Identify what the challenge is, where it came from, why it's there, what happened that made you come across this challenge. Really determine the root and the foundation of this challenge, because there's a reason why we have a challenge. Whether we bring it on ourselves, for example, being a business owner, we take on a business, we're going to take on a lot of challenges, or we're a parent and all of a sudden our kid tests our patience. Either way, the challenge is going to be there, and we have to figure out why the challenge is there to begin with. You know, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Why is it there? What do we do to cause it? Where did it come from? How do I deal with this? You know, you need to identify what it is. Once you identify that challenge, that problem, then we start to plan. This is the biggest thing, because so many people get stuck in, oh my goodness, I have a problem. And they either stay in that problem, or they run away from that problem, or they try to get through that challenge, but yet they fail and give up because they did not look at the phase of transition from what the problem is to plan to overcome it. Okay? You aren't going to sign up for a race if you don't plan and prepare for that race. You aren't going to start eating healthy unless you plan to eat healthy. You aren't going to take a job or go to school or become a parent without planning ahead of time. You have to plan. So, once you figure out that plan, or you identify what it is and you come up with a plan, part of that planning process is setting goals. So, you become a business owner. Okay, you run into your first problem. You don't make enough income, or the business is not bringing enough profit in or enough business in to help you generate income. Now your problem is, great, okay, now I have this problem that I'm not going to make money. What do I do? Okay, well, I now know what the problem is. I know why it's there, what caused it. So now my approach is, okay, well, here's what I need to do. Here's some things that I can think about. Maybe I can approach it this way. Maybe I can talk to these people. Maybe I can do this. Here's my goal. So goals are part of planning. So you set those goals aside and you say, okay, if I happen to be with this challenge for the next 30 days, here's what I want to do. Okay, the next 6 months. And so on and so forth. Most challenges that we face, or problems that we face, won't really typically last more than 6 months, maybe a year, depending on the situation. Or you'll fail at that point. So, or let's talk about being a parent. Okay? You have a child who doesn't want to listen. The problem you're facing is your parenting's not working. What do I do? I feel like a failure. I feel like I'm not doing well as a parent. Okay? Well, what you need to do then is evaluate why the child is acting up. Why they are not listening to you as a parent. What are you doing wrong? You have to identify as what can you do to control the problem. You cannot try to control the external factor. You can only control the internal factor when it comes to identifying and planning. Figure out what you can do. You have to act like the child cannot control what they're doing, or the problem cannot fix itself. It never works. The challenge is always going to be there until you come up with a solution. Because remember this exact thing. A problem or challenge that you are facing is designed for you and for you only. If you identify a problem, you're the only one that can fix that problem. Listen to that. If you come up across a problem, you are the only one that can fix that problem. Hey, Dad, thank you. I really appreciate your positivity. Have a good night, you goon. So, you have to then realize, okay, so I got to take action on what I can do, not try to focus on what others can do, because you are the one that can solve the problem, no one else. So, whether it's owning a business, being a parent, or let's say you start a new job and you're having difficult times with your boss. You guys are just not seeing eye to eye, or you're dealing with a difficult employee. You have to identify, okay, so what am I doing that could be causing this? Or what can I do to make the situation better? Maybe I can listen to the boss, or maybe I can learn to better communicate and see why they're upset, or bring value to their life. A lot of times people are upset, not at you, but at themselves, and they cause the negativity or bring their problems upon you, and so you feel like they're directed towards you, or you feel like you're the problem. So you need to figure out how you can help them, or how you can take the approach to solve the problem. Because if it's only going to be a problem if you see it as a problem, unless you can let it go and it really isn't a problem. That's up to you to determine on how long it's going to go. And let me just bring this up to you as well. When it comes to a challenge or a problem, if it does not go away in 24 hours, if you're still thinking about it and it still bothers you, then it is a problem and a challenge and will not go away. So that's my rule of thumb. If you don't solve the problem within 24 hours or let it go and it won't control or affect your life, then you need to come up with a way to handle and overcome it. That is on you. So now that you planned, you figure out what the problem is, why it's caused, and now you know what you're going to do to attack it. So Going back to the business scenario, for example, I run a business, I'm running into this problem, I can't make enough money. Okay, so here's my solution. I'm going to put in the extra effort to talk to more people. Or I'm going to bring up free things, free content for people to really get their attention to see what I can offer. Or I'm going to volunteer my time. Or I'm going to go make myself known. I'm going to come up with different steps or strategies on how I can improve my situation. Same thing with the parent. Okay, my child is acting this way. Maybe instead of just trying to give them consequences or get upset at them, maybe I need to just sit and talk with them and listen. A lot of these things I'm talking about has happened to me. My oldest, for example, he gets very stubborn and he shuts down and doesn't talk to me. And then we go, I get upset with him, but sometimes I realize that I understand what the problem is, that he's upset. It's probably with me, so I need to sit down and listen to him. Don't go out there attacking him. Don't get upset with him because he's upset. Figure out why he is that way. Talk to him. Figure out a solution that you guys can come together, or wait. If you give the same type of energy to the challenge or the problem that you're trying to plan around, it's not going to work. If the problem is, obviously the problem's going to cause negativity. If it is really slowing you down, then you don't slow down, you go faster. If it's causing pain and anguish, you look for positivity, especially if the problem is another person. You do not hit them back with the same energy. You do not come back at them with negativity. If they are upset, you do not come back upset. That's not going to solve the problem. That's not going to help you overcome the challenge. You need to think positive. The biggest thing to help you to plan to overcome a challenge is your mindset. That should be part of your plan. How do I look at this? And you have to think to yourself that you are going to overcome this challenge or overcome this problem. If you don't have that mindset, you won't solve it. You will fail. So have the mindset that you are going to overcome that problem. Okay, next. After you have planned and set that goal, you're ready to head on. Then, with that plan, that goal, look for resources. If you're struggling as a parent, talk to others that may be struggling as a parent, or talk to a professional, or talk to a leader in your church, or someone a leader at, someone at your school. Talk to someone that you know that may have a better idea on how to do this, because you don't have to try to solve the problem alone, but you may be the solution to the problem yourself. Talk to those around you, or look for books, look for reading materials. Oftentimes when I come with a problem, I'll read online. I won't necessarily wait the time to read a whole book because I'll want to solve it immediately. You essentially only want to read a whole big book or book about that if you want to learn and prepare yourself before a problem ever happened. If you're already facing the challenge of the problem, a whole book is not going to help you through that time. You need to just gain knowledge and look on websites or read parts of a book, look for specific chapters in that book that relate to your problem so you can figure out a solution, come with an alternative, or have a friend or family member look at the problem that you see and get the perspective and see how you respond to it already, and they can give you advice. So, once you identify that there's a problem, you identify what the problem is, all the details to the problem, and you plan and set your goal, you look for those resources, and you see how you can come up with a solution. Help to solidify your plan, because then you can go back and correct your plan, or you can adjust your goal accordingly. Guys, you have to have a reason to look forward. You have to have that light at the end of the tunnel to see, what you want your solution to be. You can't set a goal if you are not going to know how to solve it. But most importantly, to solve the problem, you have to have a goal. What do you want the outcome to be? So if you're a parent, I want to get along with my child, or I want them to be able to listen to me, or I want to parent better. A business owner, I want growth, I want to be successful. I don't want to be out of business. Or you work a job, then you say, I want to be the best employee, I want to get along with everyone, I want everyone to respect me, I want to make myself known as a hard worker. Those are things, those are solutions that you can find once you plan and set those goals. But as you know, a plan and a goal are nothing until you put it in action. Hey, you can write lists all the live long day. You can put out this big old book of a plan on how you can solve the problem, or you're going to write all these goals. But I tell you what, nothing is as effective on this whole list until you put it into action. So once you've taken that moment, then, give it 24 hours to 48, or however long you feel your need is necessary, but don't wait too long before the problem gets worse or the challenge gets harder to heal, okay? Or a wall. Imagine there's a wall and you want to overcome that wall. Well, imagine there are people making that wall higher or adding more obstacles behind there. You want to get ahead of the problem or the challenge before it gets worse, because if you attack it early enough, it won't be as big of a problem as you let it to be. But if you complain, moan, and groan and waste too much time on it, it's going to be bigger than you can handle. And it's going to take more thought and preparation. So take action immediately after you come up with that plan and goal, because then you're ready to take it. Give yourself a time frame too when you take action that I hope to achieve along with your goal. Hope to overcome this challenge or problem in 3 to 6 months or by the end of the week. Some things may take longer, especially if you're talking about parenting or being a business owner. But you have to give yourself a time frame while you're taking action. Now, after you've identified, you plan, you look for resources, you take action, you need to track your progress and journal. Okay? As soon as you know there's a problem, in your journal say, hey journal or hey life, I'm going through a really hard problem right now. What do I do? Ask yourself that question. And during the process of planning, it may take days, start writing down, okay, now I know there's a problem. Journal. Here's what I think is going to happen. Here's my plan. Here are my goals. And then start tracking that down. Track it throughout the whole process. Now, here's some resources, journal, that I found that I think may help me to get through this, help me to reach my goals and solve the problem or overcome the challenge. And then as soon as you're taking action, record those days. So, during this day, I tried this, but it didn't work, but I feel like there's progress coming. And each day as you're doing this, you should be journaling as a disclaimer, side note. But as you journal along, journal your progress on how it's going, because it's going to lead us to the last step. So as you journal and figure out the problem and you get through it and you overcome the challenge or solve the problem, make sure you take note and really look how long it took you and look at what it did for you, and let that be a strategy for you in the future. Maybe not that exact solution, or you might not come up with that exact problem, but the process you took, especially journaling, coming up with resources, planning, and setting goals, and identifying, these are things you can use for everything. You can use it for all problems, all challenges, and reflect on it. Reflect on it. Maybe you put in there too, while you're reflecting what you could have done differently, you can also make a side note. Okay, journal, after looking at this whole journey of this problem I faced, I could have done this better next time. And when you come across another problem or a challenge, then you start to identify, okay, so, I could be doing this better next time. Or I should have talked to someone, and then you'll remember to talk to someone. So it gives you an idea. So let's just review on what we went over for this. Okay, so you come across a problem. Okay, no matter how big it is, you come across a problem or this challenge you want to overcome. You identified it. You find out the details of what the problem is, where the root of it comes from. Then you set a plan in action. You set goals for that plan. Then you look for resources to help support your plan and goals, to help you solidify your, to help you to take this head on. Then you take action, the most important step. Take it head on. Don't be afraid of it. Then track your progress and journal. And note, journal all the time. Journal through this whole process. Lastly, reflect. Reflect on what you're doing. reflect on the whole process, reflect on how you handle that. Because once you solve this problem, once you overcome this challenge, once you have done all these steps, it's going to help you be more mindful and realize that not every problem is as big as it seems, and it's not as stressful as it seems. So be willing to take on this problem, be willing to take on challenges head on. Don't be afraid of them. And even though that you're the one who identified the problem and that ultimately is you're the one that comes with the solution, you can look for resources, look for help. And guys, I hope that the content I create for you and bring to you really helps you. I want to do this on a weekly basis, and I hope that you guys have learned something from today. Please, if you watch this video or see it, please drop a like, a comment, and share it to those around you who may need this help, what they're going through. And if you have some advice or some feedback to give me, great. Drop it in the comments. If you want me to talk on a certain topic, drop it in the comments or message me. Hey, I'm open to whatever. I'm always open to growing and improving as a person, and I'm really trying to get my life on track to be this motivational speaker and inspire millions. But I want to do it my way. But I also have to learn that I need to improve how I do it my way. Guys, thanks for watching. You guys are wonderful. For those of you who have watched, I hope you share this to those around you, and I hope I can continue to grow. Stay tuned for me next week at 6 o'clock on Sunday, so this can help you really start your week off right. And I will see you guys next week. And, stay tuned daily for my content. You guys have an awesome, awesome day. Bye, guys. Hey, guys, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time.